He may be one of the biggest stars of smooth jazz, but he's now on a coast-to-coast tour to bring back the funk. Award-winning jazz, R&B, and funk keyboardist Brian Culbertson has stopped by to lay some down. And Washington Full Circle starts right now. And welcome to Washington Full Circle. I'm Furman Patterson. Jazz and R&B musician Brian Culbertson is a keyboard player, composer, and multi-instrumentalist who has released 15 studio albums and achieved 28 Billboard #1 singles. And much of that success comes from striving to push the boundaries of the contemporary jazz scene. Thanks so much for coming, Brian. We appreciate it very much.
My pleasure. Great to be here today.
You don't know how much people have been talking about this all week. Yeah, so they're excited. I'm excited.
It's
Thanks
great
for
to
coming.
be here.
Now, when did you first get the jazz bug? As a kid, or is it later in life?
Yeah, it was as a kid. I was in junior high school. I just kind of started, I started out classical piano like many kids do when they're kids. And like a lot of young people, I hated classical piano lessons. But it was when I started getting into jazz and learning jazz harmonies and started messing around with kind of my own songs even, is when I really knew. I was like, hey, this music thing is kind of cool.
Did your parents have an appreciation for music?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So we had music playing in the house since I was a kid. And, growing up with all the great music, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Chicago, and Tower of Power, and those kind of bands, as well as classical jazz.
Now, I think I read that you did your first album producer in college, is that correct?
I did, yeah. I got signed to my first deal when I was 20 years old. I was still in school, and they basically gave me very little money, so I had to do it in my apartment. In one of the bedrooms that I set up some gear in. So I did it there, but it was on a busy street in Chicago. Yeah. So every time we were recording somebody, you could hear like a truck or an ambulance go by, and like stop, redo. It was crazy. It was crazy.
What was the first album called?
It was called Long Night Out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did it do?
I mean, it did pretty well. It got up to #2 on the jazz charts.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I still remember this. It was #2, right behind Bob James. Yeah. And for me, Bob James, one of the greatest keyboard players, composers, and so that to me was it.
So after
I didn't need to be #1. He was #1. I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So you figure, I got this.
Well, nah, I was just happy to be making music and excited to see my name on a chart. I'm in college. What do I know about anything? So I just kind of got thrust into the whole business. I kind of learning as you go.
Right.
And then the label says, hey, you got to go on tour. I'm like, what? I didn't know anything about going on tour. I was playing a college jazz band. What do I know about, getting my own band together and going out on tour? So that was a whole learning experience as well.
Now, how much touring did you do? How was it?
In the beginning, not a ton. I'd do whatever promotional gigs the label could set up for me. I wasn't getting any real gigs at that point because, when you're starting out, nobody knows who you are. Right. They're just trying to get me out there and get some publicity going. So.
Well, what was your parents' and friends' reaction to that first album?
I mean, everybody was just floored at what was going on, and especially all the kids at I went to DePaul University in Chicago. Everybody there was like talking about it. It's like, oh man, did you hear about Brian's doing this? I'm like, oh, I don't know. What was funny was they all instantly thought I was rich. Oh, he's got a CD out. He must be rich now. It was actually the opposite. It was like, because most of the gigs I was doing was like pay to play. Right. So nobody really understood the business, including myself. I'm like, oh, I'm borrowing money from my girlfriend to go play a gig. So it was crazy.
But your friends didn't believe that. They just thought you were rolling in dough, right?
They didn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So from there, you did the next album, which came how much later?
1 year.
Okay.
So the first few records of mine I did one year after another because I was just writing music for the most part. Like I said, I didn't tour that much.
Right.
So for me, it was just getting a lot of music out there, getting music on radio. There was a lot of what they call smooth jazz radio stations
yes.
back in the 90s.
Yes.
You know, there was like 150 stations or whatever throughout the U.S. So that was a great way to kind of get thrust onto the scene.
Now you play a lot of different instruments.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
back then, did you learn all that before your first album, or you just?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing a lot of things. Like I said, started on piano.
Right.
Then I took up drum set lessons. Then joined fifth grade band on trombone. In junior high, they needed someone to play a funky bass part, so I was like, oh, I'll try it. So you know, as a kid, you just you're not worried about anything. You just oh yeah, I'll do it.
Right.
So I think you soak things up easier as well. So I just wanted to learn as much as I could.
But the piano was your favorite instrument back then?
Believe it or not, I was actually way into trombone. I was seriously practicing jazz trombone, traditional jazz, playing in the big band, learning solos from the trombone masters. So that's what I was way into. And on the side, I was writing music, messing around. So I kind of had two passions going on parallel, but most people knew me more as a jazz trombone player.
Right.
Even through college. So when I released my first record and it was all piano based, the people in Chicago were like, what is this? They were kind of confused.
Right.
But but I always knew piano would be better for a lead instrument on an album. So
fantastic. Got much more to talk about. We'll be right back with jazzman turned emissary of funk, Brian Culbertson, right after this. And welcome back to Washington Full Circle. Brian Culbertson says his latest project was an idea to make an old school throwback funkadelic record in the style of P-Funk meets Prince.
That's right.
Even that description sounds exciting.
Right? I mean, this is my second funk record that I've done. And the first one I did was more kind of Earth, Wind, and Fire style. And, funk is definitely broad, and there's different kinds of funk. So I wanted to kind of change it up on this one around. So
now this album is your second time around, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the jazz roots first. Because I didn't mention that you played with a lot of jazz greats before this funk.
I mean, I've been able to play with a lot of incredible musicians over the years. On a lot of my records, had a lot of guests and sat in with tons of people. People always ask me, who haven't you played with?
Right.
I mean, there's always people, the wish list, but I've been really, really fortunate to, have Stevie Wonder came and jumped on stage with me one night in LA, and oh my God, I got to tell you this story because this is hilarious. I was playing this one particular song, right? And all of a sudden, I'm playing, and the audience starts going bananas, and they're all standing up with their phones. I'm like, wow, what did I do? And then all of a sudden, out the corner of my eye, I'm like, oh my God, it's Stevie. He's walking out on stage. He brings out his harmonica. He starts playing. We start jamming together. So there's been a lot of great moments like that I've had that I treasure, and so I've just been lucky.
I was just thinking, Stevie has a way of doing that. He just shows up.
That's what he does.
Who's going to say, no, this is my show?
Exactly. Yeah, man, that was amazing.
Now, speaking of jazz, you also sponsor a jazz festival, an annual festival.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
I actually started this 6 years ago. It's a wine and jazz festival in Napa Valley, California.
Where else?
So exactly, no better wine in the U.S. So it's basically a 5-day event where we're pairing, wine tastings with concerts and outdoor outdoor settings, and then a couple nights in a theater. There's a silent auction raising money for music education. So a lot of different events going on throughout the 5 days, and it's a whole lot of fun. We have over 30 artists join us every year.
Man.
This June, it's every June,
Right.
second week of June. And this June is going to be our sixth annual, actually.
Very good. Congratulations.
Yeah, very excited.
And it's not so bad pairing wine with jazz.
Not so bad. Not so bad. Hanging out in the vineyards. What could
There
be,
you go.
Oh, man, what could be better?
Now let's talk funk.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Oh, who were your idols in funk before you decided, oh, I'm going to jump into this full?
Well, you know, I mentioned Earth, Wind, and Fire, of
Yeah.
course. You know, that was really my biggest influence as a kid. Of course, you know, there are a lot of other funk bands, you know, that we grew up listening to, from Tower Power to, you know, Ohio Players to P-Funk to, I mean, and then you go back to James Brown, of course. So all those influences were a big part of my upbringing. And even though I started out, you know, doing the contemporary jazz thing, I always knew someday, you know, I would kind of get into that funk thing. And I was actually asked to sit in with Prince one night.
Oh, my God.
And it was one of those all-night jam sessions. And that really blew my mind as a musician. So it was the very next day I decided, okay, now's the right time to make this first funk record of mine.
Yeah.
And that's when I called up Maurice White. We had met, crossed circles a little bit, and so I called him up, and I just kind of threw this idea out, and we ended up co-producing the album together. It was unbelievable.
Give us an idea of what's on the album. What what
That
songs?
record?
Yeah.
It was a few covers, but a lot of new originals. But the coolest thing about that record was everybody that played on it had a connection to the funk era. So I got guys from Rufus, guys that had played in Prince's bands over the years, guys from Earth, Wind, Fire, you know, originals, and Bootsy Collins was on it, Larry Graham was on it. It was a who's who of funk.
But the new album is just called Funk, right?
The new album, yes,
Right.
it is funk. And the new one, totally different concept. So the first one was a who's who.
Right.
This new one was all about me and my band. So we went in and cut it live in the studio. And I wanted that to be more like, you know, the bands back in the day. They would cut it live in the studio and then go on tour. So that's what we did. I went in with my band, we cut it all live, and now we're on tour with the same cats that played it on the record. You're hearing and seeing us on the show.
How many cities are you touring?
It is actually 65 shows in 10 weeks.
That's amazing.
It's by far my most crazy, ambitious tour, but we are having a blast. It's great. We're playing 6 nights a week all over the U.S. and even going overseas a little bit. It's a lot of fun because we're on the bus. We roll from city to city to city, rolling funky. Oh, yeah. And we get to bring all our gear with us. We got a whole truck with all the, you know, all the gear and the lights and the wardrobe, and it's so much fun.
Well, now we're about to hear some of that funk.
Oh, yeah.
We got to hear some of that
let's
funk.
do it.
But we're going to change things up. We'll go to a commercial break.
Okay.
When we come back, this will be different. You'll be all set up, so I
Nice.
can't wait.
All right.
Don't go away. Washington Full Circle will be back in a moment as Brian Culbertson, a.k.a. BC, brings back the funk. Welcome back to Washington Full Circle. So now Brian Culbertson is about to demonstrate what he came here to do, play that funky music.
All right.
So what are you going to play first for
I'm going
us?
to play the first single on this record. It's called Been Around the World.
Sounds very interesting, Brian.
All right.
Take it away.
Here it goes.
Fantastic. So much.
right.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. That's it for Washington Full Circle. Thanks to our guest, Brian Culbertson, and to you for watching. We'll see you again next time. Wow.